Well,
What is going
what's
on,
going on,
guys?
guys? Yep.
We're
So,
back with a recap. Sorry we missed what was it, yesterday?
yeah. Well, it was supposed to be the Monday recap for the UFC London. Had some things going on. Both of us had to take care of some stuff. But
Business comes first, boys.
yeah. So we're just gonna go ahead and quickly recap that last fight. We had some. Chris had some good success. We got Big Blip right here. Yeah. Slip. He's gonna be coming. We're gonna also right after this one. We're gonna get right after this. We're gonna get right into the predictions for UFC Columbus. But let's just real quick. Let's recap this. What we had first fight of that night for UFC London was Cody Durden versus Muhammad Mokaev. I mean,
First L, but it is what
we
it is.
did both take the major dog in Cody Durden, and that was, I mean, less than 1 minute he got finished.
You boys really believed in the plot armor.
We believe in that American wrestling, that grit, man. And yeah, so we took an L there. I mean, not really much to go off. It was pretty much one-sided, quick finish. Then when you move up to Elise Reed and Corey McKenna, again, we had Corey McKenna. That was but as I said in that previous prediction video, Elise Reed still can be live, and came to find out she was as the underdog, beating the Brit in her home country. Elise was a lot better on the hands, and we thought like Corey McKenna's wrestling, we thought that would really play a factor, but she was just getting stuffed, and she kept diving for the legs in desperation, and was just getting clipped on the feet, outclassed. So that happened.
It is what it is.
But then we go ahead and go on to our first win of the night, with both of us having Jack Shore. A little earlier in that week, he was the underdog at plus 100. A lot of people didn't know that. Picked him up on a few tickets for that as well against Timur Valiev. It was a pretty dominant win for Jack Shore. He was just completely out wrestling Timur as well. People would think that Dagestani would know. Jack Shore's out wrestling him and had him rocked a few times. The fight could have been stopped in that third round as well. But it is what it is. Went through and got the finish. So that's that. That was our first win of the night. So far, we are 1-3 as the card goes. Then we move on to Paul Craig.
Paul Craig.
I believe
You
I
can't
had
count
Paul
that
Craig.
man out.
Paul Craig.
I knew it since that time that Paul Craig had that fight before
Yeah.
the fight with Jamal Hill. The
Yeah.
week preceding to that fight, I was like, this is a Paul Craig match.
After
right here, bro.
that Shogun Brewer fight.
Yeah, man. I was like, bro, you can't count Paul Craig out, bro. He's always got something up his fucking sleeve.
Absolutely. But yeah, we both of us did go with Paul Craig in that one as well. That makes us 2-2. Paul Craig was getting rocked though. He could have been knocked out. It looked like the fight could have possibly been stopped with that, standing ground and pound, just laying it down from the guard position for Nikita. But in Paul Craig fashion, throws up that submission, that triangle. As I predicted, I knew he was gonna win by triangle specifically. So if you picked him, Paul Craig, to win by a submission, you cash that plus 400 ticket. Then we move up to the heavyweights. Sergey Pavlovich versus Shamil Abdurakhimov. That played out
I
pretty
knew
much
it
the
was
same
going to
thing.
happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a first round knockout finish. Well, TKO finish for Sergey. Shamil was looking like he could have possibly if he didn't get finished, he would have been able to maintain the center of that octagon, and maybe could have grinded out a decision. I know a lot of people were big on that at that plus 700 prop, but ultimately we pretty much knew Sergey was going to win by finish, and he did that in the first round. So if we look at that so far, now that moves us to 3-2, going into Marquand Amirkhani versus Mike Grundy. This is one where we did pick Mike Grundy. He never really got a chance to do anything. I mean, it was just Marquand getting that takedown early, that counter takedown, counter shot, reshot early. And once it was on the ground, he had him in just this I think it was head and arm choke. It was, and he just had him there. He had him just stuffed there, stuck there. He was in a hucklebuck, stuck there, trying. He was fighting it for as much as he could, but Mike Grundy ultimately eventually tapped within, again, 1 minute. So that was that. Then we move on to banger that I liked, man. It was Jai Herbert and Ilya Tupuria. Those of you know that I did go with Jai Herbert. I believe you went with Tupuria.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, bro. Jai should have won that fight, man. He should have. He was playing around too much. Jai completely demolished him on the feet in that first round. And Jai had him drop so bad that it looked like he was pretty much knocked out. But what does Jai do? As soon as he drops and rocks him so hard, he wants to stand over him and kind of showboat. I mean, if he bad move, man, because if he would have actually capitalized on that and really came down with some ground and pound, he could have easily got that fight finished.
That was like the Nate Diaz thing. He was fucking showboating.
Exactly, showboating against
Nate
Leon.
Diaz can win that fight.
Against Leon Edwards, yeah, but he just, when you do that, that's just, it doesn't work, man. So Jai Herbert wins that first round very decisively, completely outclassed him. Then what do we see in the second round? A beaten, battered Ilya Taporia still maintains his focus, regains his wits, comes through and just clips Jai with a counter left and completely shuts his lights off. And that just goes, and I did have Jai in that fight. Like I said, I mean, I'm still proud of that because he was at like plus 500. He was a crazy underdog, but he pretty much gave away. So there's that. Then we move on to, personally, in my opinion, the best fight of the night or the best performance with Molly McCann and Luana Carolina. I mean, just a great performance by Molly McCann. She came out and was just ravaging Luana for the first 2 rounds, and in that third round, Luana it looked like she was kind of fed up with just the show. Like, now Molly wasn't really showboating, but Molly was taunting her, and she was dancing on the feet. Yeah, because she was confident.
She was fighting like a man.
Yeah,
she was out there fighting like a whole man, bro.
Indeed.
Swing, she was moving around on her toes real light, bro. I don't know. It did not look like a female's fight to me.
It didn't, but at the end of the day, and then in that third round, Luana started she was getting mad that she was getting taunted and started doing taunts of her own, and was actually getting the better of Molly, the best of Molly, in that late second to the third on the feet. She was starting to clip Molly, but what do we see? All came down. She got it a little bit too aggressive, came in, she closed the distance a little bit too fast, spinning elbow, shut her lights out cold. Great win. We both had Molly McCann. We had Meatball. That's good. It was great. Move on to Gunnar Nelson versus Takashi Sato. We both had Gunnar again.
Takashi, you looked like pure shit, bud. Like, he's at an American Top Team, is he not?
Yeah.
No, he's fucking Sanford.
He's
out of Sanford, bro. He looks like he has never trained on the feet ever a day in his fucking life, bud. And then when it went to the ground, he was just like, bro, he had no type of jiu-jitsu with him. Who is he training with over there? Because that shit looked like, no disrespect to Gunnar Nelson, but I probably would bet my life on Takashi that night, bro.
No. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, Gunnar was coming off that layoff. Ultimately, we all did pick Gunnar to win. I really thought he was going to win by finish, which he was in. He put himself in some great positions to get that submission win. But it pretty much seemed like he just wanted to drag it out and just rack up points. He wanted to play it safe. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. We all did have Gunnar to win, and he ultimately got that decision win. Then we move on to the all-star, Paddy Pimblett versus Rodrigo Vargas.
Paddy the baddie.
All of us had Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy the
baddie.
That's all you heard. Bro.
Yeah, that's all you heard.
Even after his fight, people were still chanting that shit.
Yeah, man. Paddy was doing his thing. But, well, let's not forget. People are thinking, like, in that when the fight first started, that he got rocked and dropped. No, he didn't get rocked. He did get touched. He got touched with one punch, so he shot for a takedown. But
one punch is all it needs for this being to criticize
him. Indeed. But he got touched. He didn't get hit hard. He got touched and went for the takedown. Ended up missing it, getting falling right into guard. And
the fight started out a little awkward for him.
It started out a little weird,
he ended up on his butt.
Yeah.
He worked it took him some time to get up, but that was a 1-round fight, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was first round. Once he got
he made the last of those 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And boy, did he show out.
It was something, bro. And then Patty with that, when I saw Patty pull that guard after he missed the takedown, I knew it was only a matter of time before he was able to, switch the position and get that submission. That's ultimately what I predicted him to do, and he did get that submission win. Beautiful hip toss when he was able to level up back to his feet after being down there for about 2 minutes by Kazula. Got up to his feet, hip tossed him, and the rest was history. Patty by submission. All of us had that. Now, this is one that was a split. I did have Dan Hooker in this one. I was pretty disappointed in his performance. Just based off the level of competition Arnold Allen has fought and his own performances, I could not really see that happen. I thought the exact opposite would have happened to Arnold from Dan.
All I have to say is, but he had plot armor working for him in England because he's no Delino Burns.
Yeah.
Not in any way, shape, or form.
He's not.
There's no way that I really would have thought that Dan Hooker would have went out there and got dog walked like that for the entirety of the first round.
Yeah, man. It was rough. He was getting really beat up bad. But what can you say? Arnold Allen, beautiful first round finish. I mean, we're gonna have to keep an eye on him coming up because that was, in my opinion, his best win.
He's undefeated in that weight class.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Then when we move on to the main event, yeah, it was just. I mean, what can you say? We saw something different from Tom. We saw a little bit more wrestling, a lot more variety. I mean, it was a quick. I'm not quick, but Volkov wasn't looking like. He wasn't like shook, but Tom Aspinall shown that he was the better fighter. So, I mean, if you could just put it in that perspective. But if we look at yeah, so that's it. Tom Aspinall, I mean, yeah, keep an eye out for him. Impressive win, his best win to date. Beat him with that Kimura, the arm lock. That was like a little hybrid. And yeah, took him down, was able to take him down, land his own punches. We saw a lot of variety from Aspinall, and that's good. So that's the recap for the whole predictions. Now, for my parlay that I did give you guys, the People's Parlay, we had under 2.5 for that Mike Grundy and Mach 1 fight. That happened within 50 seconds. And that was at plus 175. We had Jack Shore to win and over 1.5 at plus 100. We had Paddy Pimblett to win by finish at minus 175. And we had over 1.5 for Volkov and Aspinall. So I went 3-1 on my People's Parlay. The week before I did go 4-0. So and Chris went 3-1 as well. Yeah. But what was your People's Parlay? Do you remember what it was? Your 4 picks?
I lost in the first, so
but I think he went 3-1 as well, if I can remember. But those are, if you go back and just check the dates, check the footage that we had. That's I mean, you can see all the facts and all the proof evidence that we don't BS. We always, at the very minimum, or at the very least, will get these predictions out the night before the fight. So Friday nights, never on the same day. I think that's the timestamps just can be confusing for people. We want to make it pretty cut and dry. But that's all. That's what you have for that for UFC London predictions. We're about to gear up, get some stuff going, and we're gonna get ready to predict UFC Columbus, which will be Blaze versus Dawkins. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that recap. And we did pretty well. We've been doing well these weeks. We never had any really bad weeks at all. We've been doing well. So we're going to gear up, get some stuff ready for our next episode, which we're about to get into in another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And yeah, enjoy, like, and subscribe.